President Obama answered the question about his birth certificate today by showing it, and reminding the country about what's important. Listen.
We're not going to be able to solve our problems if we get distracted by sideshows and carnival barkers. We live in a serious time right now, and we have the potential to deal with the issues that we confront in a way that will make our kids and our grandkids and our great-grandkids proud.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Donald Trump say that when Obama produced his birth certificate, he would produce his tax statements? Waiting. Okay, here now to discuss this and other stories in the news is Tavis Smiley, host of Tavis Smiley on PBS and the author of a book, Fail Up. You know, do you think, Tavis, that he will produce his tax statements now? Donald?
I don't think that was ever the intent. This is about appealing to a certain level of base voter in this country. It's about bottom feeding. One might even argue it's about race baiting. I'm not one to throw that R word around, because I think when you throw the R word around, the racism word, too easily, it can act like a boomerang and come back to bite you in the derriere.
Do you think it's better if white people say it?
I don't think it's better or worse. I think that you have to be accurate when you say it. You got to be careful and judicious about when you use that word. But there are some things that are hard to explain in any other terminology. When you have this kind of conversation, I was watching another network today, and I saw they had up on the big screen a copy of the president's birth certificate. And they're literally walking through this thing, analyzing and circling this and circling that. I have never in my life ever thought about, much less imagined it possible, that we would be deconstructing on national television the certified birth certificate of any U.S. president. But why this one? Why this one? It's hard to explain it any other way. Whenever you say that, you get accused, me in this case, you get accused of race baiting, but give me any other rationale for why this president is subjected to this kind of nonsense.
There is, it's true, I agree with you. I mean, we never asked to see George Bush's diploma, for example, which I had questions on that. Okay, but were you surprised that he did that today, though, that he released it?
I was a bit surprised and disappointed. I understand strategically, or since you mentioned President Bush, as President Bush might say, I understand the strategery behind the Obama administration releasing it. You want to stop the nonsense. Enough already. I get that. What I really hate, though, is that he was forced to do that because he was pushed by a guy named Donald Trump. Donald Trump is pimping the media. He's laughing all the way to the bank.
Still?
Still.
Don't you think he jumped the shark now? Everybody knows he's been making this up, and it's over.
But it's a game for him. He's still got his gig on NBC, and people...
For the moment.
For the moment. But for him, it's always about notoriety. It's always about exposure. It's always about media attention, and he feeds off of that like it's
somebody
oxygen.
else's expense.
Yeah, but since when has he cared about that? It's like oxygen for him. It's like water for him. It's like blood in his veins. And I'm not trying to demonize him. I'm just trying to say that there's got to be a certain level of civility in our discourse. And if this is what we get from a guy who's not even declared as a candidate yet, this is the preliminary. If he were to get in the race, how much uglier, how much nastier, how much more divisive, how much more expensive, how much more racist is the attack going to be if you actually get in the race? He's just playing around the edges right now.
Yeah, that's right. What do you think of this theory that the Democrats and President Obama did not release this paper sooner because they wanted to demonize the right a little bit and show how stupid they were?
Yeah, I think sometimes in Washington, which might sound oxymoronic, we can overthink issues. I'm not sure how much thought the White House gave to that. I just think it's difficult when you are as American as anybody else, and you get backed into a corner to prove your Americanness when nobody else has to do that. I'd push back on that as well for as long as I could, because it's insulting, it's demeaning,
but the discourse
and it's anti-American.
But you know, it's funny you should say that, because a guy stopped me on the street before I came into the building, some right-winger, an old white guy, and he's attacking me because I said, I'm hard on Republicans, and why do you hate America, he said to me. I mean, who needs this? I'm walking down the street. I love America as much as anybody else. It's very good to me and my family. To have this this jerk come up to me.
But
don't think I didn't turn on him plenty.
I'm sure you did. But that speaks to the low level of our discourse.
Really?
That whenever you raise questions about our democracy, you get accused of being anti-American. I've always believed this, that a true patriot does not excuse or forgive the sins of its own country. If you want your country to be a great democracy, you have to call it on the carpet from time to time.
That's right.
And with President Obama, I think most of your listeners or viewers probably know this, that I've had my issues with him, and it's well documented back to the campaign. But I believe, quoting my dear friend Dr. Cornel West, my radio partner, that we have to respect him, we have to protect him, and at times we have to correct him. But that can all be done civilly and in a way that's above board.
I like that. That was good.
Respect, protect, and correct. He's the man.
Let's talk about your book for a second. Now, you reveal a lot of failures in your book. Why did you do that?
Yeah, because it's my 20th anniversary in the broadcast business, and I started reflecting on what this 20-year journey has been, and for me, it's really been about failing my way up. No one in this country who's successful, if they're being honest, Joy, and I'm sure you and I agree on this, if you're successful, you have to admit you've learned much more from your failures than you ever learned from your successes. There is no success without failure. But in this environment, in this country right now, we're being frozen by fear, and everybody's afraid of failing. There was a poll not long ago that most Americans think our best days as a country are behind us. So fear that I feel in this country as I move around is palpable about failure, personally and professionally. So this book is about 20 of the worst mistakes I've ever made.
Give me your best one.
Oh, the best one. There's so many. It took me 16 years to get my college degree because I cussed out a professor in class one day, and I learned that even when you're justified, you have to be dignified. I went to jail when I was much younger for writing bad checks. So many kids in college get credit cards and checking accounts thrown at them. I didn't know how to manage it. I found myself in jail, too embarrassed to tell my parents about this. The bottom line is this, and Samuel Beckett, the great Nobel laureate, put it this way: ever tried, ever failed, no matter, try again, fail better. I love that. Try again, fail better. All of us have the capacity in our lives to fail our way up if we learn the lessons. Failure need not be final. It need not be fatal. You can, indeed, fail your way up to the top.
I can't believe it took you 16 years to graduate. You're so smart.
Well, that's what happens when you are arrogant, and you have too much hubris in you, and you don't revel in the humanity of others, when you're not humble enough. All lessons I've learned along the way that I'm still learning every day.
You write about also some kind of a personal indiscretion that you had. What was that?
I had a girlfriend at one point, and she and I were, let's just say, in the afterglow of amour, talking about our past.
When the moon hits your eyes like
a big pizza pie, that's some more. Okay. So she and I were laying in bed. We're laying in bed one night and talking about our past love lives. And long story short, she told me something that she shouldn't have told me. And in an unwise moment with my boys, my partners on the basketball court, or after a game, I was gossiping. And women aren't the only ones who gossip. Men do too. This is long before I was ever in the TV business. There's a major Hollywood star who to this day I've always wanted to talk to on my show on PBS. He will not come on.
She told you stuff that he did in bed?
Something like that.
Oh.
And I shouldn't have repeated that.
No, but who could resist it? It's a big major Hollywood star.
But
you're too rough on yourself, Tavis.
The bottom line is that loose lips do sink ships.
They do.
And you got to learn all these lessons.
But you can fail up.
That's right.
Okay, his new book is Fail Up. Thank you, Tavis, very much.
Thank you, Joy. Good to be on.
We'll be right back.